Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're talking about Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 4, Legacy. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. I'm Brent, as always, your host, and today we're talking more Ultimate Spider-Man. This is Legacy Volume 4. Brian Michael Bendis, Mark Bagley. This is issues 22 through 26 of Ultimate Spider-Man. This was actually the first Ultimate Spider-Man trade I ever owned. I don't think it was the first one I read, but like I said in previous videos, this is maybe where my Ultimate Spider-Man reading dropped off on that like monthly comics website that Marvel had in the early 2000s. I guess that's why I picked up Volume 4 to start with and not like 1, 2, or 3. But I never went back for some reason. Like I just started with 4 and then time passed and never went back until, last year and just started collect like the entire series. But this is fun. This is the return of the Green Goblin as evidenced by this picture here. In the opening, it's kind of echoing the Gwen Stacy thing. He does grab Mary Jane and throw her off a bridge, although not much happens in the way like Gwen Stacy. Not really spoiler. She's in the entire series, and she's still alive in the Ultimate Universe today, right? So, but this is interesting. It doesn't quite explain what happened in Volume 1. It doesn't quite give it a new update or anything. You have more of Gwen Stacy here. You have more of Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. He's talking to himself. Like there's a whole issue in here where you're hearing the voices that he hears in his head that's driving him nuts. So that's kind of new. But in terms of like an overall story, I think it's fun, but it's just okay. Poor Harry Osborn never really gets a real characterization, even in this storyline when he comes back. So he's basically in 12 issues of 26 here, where like he disappears at the end of Volume 1. He comes back at the beginning of this one. He's like, and everybody's like, "Hey Harry, how are you? What happened? Are you okay?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, everything's fine." Turns out he's being brainwashed by his dad. But poor Harry gets triggered again, basically, and will not be the same. And we'll see him in a later volume. But he doesn't really get like a characterization. He never really feels like Peter's real best friend, Even though they say that they are, it's never really demonstrated in Volume 1 before Peter gets bit or in any of the later issues after that. So it's a bit of a misnomer to say like Harry Osborn is Ultimate Peter Parker's best friend. Didn't really see that here. You have more things with, there's a lot of fun things here, like Nick Fury making himself known to Peter Parker. That's cool. And he basically lets him know like, hey, you're on your own until you're 18. We can't help you unless he actually, Norman actually goes and attacks somebody. And if we see it, we will then intervene, but, we can't go on anything you say. And then they also give the revelation like, hey, when you do turn 18, you belong to me because you're a illegal superpower or something like that, and somehow not a mutant. Like if you're a mutant, it doesn't matter, but if you aren't a mutant, you belong to S.H.I.E.L.D. somehow. That's never really explained, but it's just like a threat to Peter, like, hey, when you turn 18, your life's going to change because you're going to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. automatically. And he's like, enjoy your youth while you're young. And so it's kind of scary because I think Peter's like 15 at this point in time. So 3 years later, right? What's also fun is all the limo stuff with Aunt May. Norman bringing a limo over to Peter. He's grounded because he was out late. And Aunt May thinks it was with Mary Jane, but it wasn't. It was with, being Spider-Man. And a limo comes the next day, and she's like, go in the limo. And he's like, but aren't I grounded? She's like, no, go support your friend Harry or whatever. And that's a little bit of fun. And then especially the flip side, the next time it comes, when Peter's like, hey, I think there's something going on, I don't want to get in. She's like, oh no, you're she stands up for him and shows that she's like a real person, a real character. The more and more we get with Aunt May, the more I feel some attachment to her. So she's slowly growing as a character, and I know by the end of the series she actually is a great character. It's just starting to bubble up here in Volume 4 in terms of being that great character. Overall, the storytelling, the art, it's Mark Bagley. It's fantastic, phenomenal. I love it. I'm having so much fun reading this series all the way through for the first time. Recommended. I like this volume. I think it was a lot of fun, and yeah, it's got some good payoffs and good setups, but you know, it doesn't really do anything to. It's not the greatest Norman Osborn Green Goblin story ever. You know, there are a lot more to that, and I think Norman, yeah, he does make a return in a later volume also. So we'll see him again in Ultimate Spider-Man. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of Legacy down below in the comments. We'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.